Welcome to Aggregates 101. To start, we will define what an aggregate is. Then, we will go over their capabilities. This lesson will cover the sources of aggregates, filtering data, sorting data, and testing aggregates during development. So, what is an aggregate? An aggregate is a visual element of the OutSystems language that allows you to query data from entities. Within an aggregate, you can define the source entities, filter data according to some criteria, or sort the data as required. Most applications need to fetch data from the database. Aggregates allow us to create that type of query in a visual way. To the left, you can see the aggregate editor that allows us to visually define a database query. At the top of the editor are 4 tabs that allow us to add different data sources, create filters, define sorting, and test the query during development. Aggregates are relatively easy to create and maintain, because the editor ends up looking a little bit like an Excel spreadsheet, and we don't need detailed knowledge of SQL. Let's go over the 4 capabilities of aggregates in detail. Once we get inside the editor, we can expand the Sources tab to reveal the source entities. The sources within the aggregate will determine from where the data is retrieved. Aggregates support more than one entity as source, although in this example we only have the customer entity. Once we have the sources of the aggregate defined, then what we might want to do is actually define the aggregate filters. So, instead of getting all the customers, if we decided that we wanted to only get those customers whose name lengths are higher than a specific value, we could go ahead and add a new filter with such expression. As you add filters, the preview data automatically refreshes and displays only the records that match all filters. Multiple filters may be added, and the records returned are only the ones that evaluate to true for all filters. Each filter usually has some sort of logical operator, such as equal to, not equal to, and so on. We may also wish to use some of the built-in functions to manipulate dates or other values. This may be useful to get records whose date is in the future, for instance. After filtering data, we may wish to do some sorting. So, we can go to the Sorting tab and add one or more sorts. In this case, we're just saying which column we plan to sort on. The sorting can be done ascending or descending, so either increasing or decreasing values. We can add multiple sorts. If we do so, the order in which the sorts are defined is important, as it will influence the aggregate result, with the first one having more precedence, followed by the second one, and so on. We can also set test values, so if we come to the Test Values tab, any variables that are being used inside the aggregate will show up as an input field. If we give that input field a value, it will evaluate the query and refresh the data preview below. This test value has nothing to do with what we'll actually be running inside our application. This is just for us to see what that output might be in a particular case, while we have the editor open.